Hey everyone. So, if you've ever had that moment where you're just staring at your screen, totally frustrated because your C code won't compile, or maybe even worse, it runs but the answer it spits out is just plain wrong, yeah, you're in the right place. Today we are going to tackle debugging. And I don't want you to think of it as a chore, I want you to think of it as a core skill, maybe even a superpower for any programmer. All right, let's jump right in. First things first, we've got to get our heads in the right space. I want you to really let this idea sink in. Every single error message, every crash, every weird result you get, it's not the computer being difficult. It's actually the computer trying to help you. It's leaving you clues, like a little signpost pointing you right at the problem. Our job is just to learn how to read those signs. And why is this so critical? Well, here's a little secret about programming. People think it's all about writing new code. But honestly, it's probably 20% writing code and a whopping 80% fixing, tweaking, and debugging what you've already written. Seriously. So if you spent hours hunting down a single bug, you're not failing. You're doing what programming really is. Mastering debugging is what turns you from someone who just writes code into a real problem solver. Okay, so to be a great bug hunter, you first have to know what kind of creatures you're looking for, right? Errors aren't all the same. So let's put together a quick field guide to the most common types of bugs you're going to run into out there in the C programming wilderness. First up, we have the syntax error. This is the most basic kind of error you'll see. The easiest way to think about it is like a spelling mistake or a grammar mistake in a sentence. You see, the C language has super strict rules about its grammar, where semicolons go, how you use brackets, all that stuff. If you break one of those rules, even by a little bit, you get a syntax error. Here's a perfect classic example. This printf line looks totally fine, right? But look closely. It's missing that tiny little semicolon at the end. To the compiler, that's like reading a sentence that just ends abruptly. It has no idea what to do next, so it just flags it for you. This is the compiler's way of gently tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, I think you forgot something here. Next in our field guide are compilation errors. Now, these are a little broader than syntax errors, but they happen at the same time, before your program even gets a chance to run. Think of the compiler as your first line of defense. It does a full scan of your code to make sure everything lines up, like, checking to see if you're trying to use variables that you haven't even created yet. And here's a great example of the compiler having your back. We're trying to use a variable called myValue, but we never actually told the program what myValue is. We forgot to declare it. So the compiler just stops everything and says undeclared identifier, which is really just its nerdy way of asking, sorry, who is myValue? I don't think we've been introduced. All right, let's move into a much trickier category, runtime errors. These are sneaky. They're sneaky because your code compiles just fine. The grammar is perfect, the compiler is happy, but then when the program is actually running, something goes completely wrong, and this usually ends with your program crashing. The textbook example of this is trying to divide by 0. I mean, look at this line of code. It's syntactically perfect. The compiler looks at it and says, yep, looks good to me. But when the computer actually tries to do the math, it hits a brick wall. You can't divide by 0 in math class, and trust me, your computer can't either. The result? A runtime error, and boom, your program just gives up. And now, we get to the final boss of bugs, the logical error. This is, without a doubt, the toughest one to track down. Why? Because your program compiles perfectly. It runs without crashing. It just doesn't do what you want it to do. The computer is following your instructions to the letter. The problem is that your instructions were wrong. The bug isn't in the code, it's in your logic. Take a look at this for loop. We obviously wanted to do something 5 times, but look at the condition, I greater than 5. So the loop starts and I is 0. The computer asks itself, is 0 greater than 5? No. So the loop just gets skipped entirely. The program runs, finishes silently, and gives you the wrong result, all because our thinking was just a little bit backwards. Okay, so we've met the different kinds of bugs. We know our guides. The next big question is, how do we follow their clues? Let's get you set up with a simple but super powerful debugging toolkit. These are 4 strategies you can start using literally right now. First up, the old reliable tracing with printf. Second, and this is a big one, actually reading the compiler messages. They give you the line number for a reason. Third, breaking your code down into smaller pieces you can test one by one. And fourth, for the really tough problems, learning to use a proper debugger. Now for today, we're going to zero in on that first one, printf tracing, because it is one of the most accessible and surprisingly powerful tools you'll ever use. So let's really focus on this tool, the humble printf statement. It might seem simple, but it's like having a direct line into your program. We're going to use it to basically ask our code, hey, what are you thinking right now as it's running? All right, here's our patient. We've got a simple program that's supposed to add up some numbers. But when we run it, the final sum is totally wrong. Now, it compiles and it runs, so we know we're dealing with a logical error. The bug is hiding somewhere in that loop. So how do we find it? We put on our detective hats, and we plant a bug, a little listening device. That's what this printf statement is. We stick it right inside the loop. Now, every single time the loop runs, the program has to stop and report back to us. It has to tell us the exact value of the sum variable at that precise moment. We're opening up a window so we can see what our code is thinking. And now, look at the results. On the left is our code with our little printf spy. On the right is the output. See that? We can now see, step by step, exactly how the sum is changing. By just watching those values, we can spot the exact moment, the exact iteration where the math goes wrong. The printf didn't fix the bug for us, but man, it shone a giant spotlight right on top of it. So let's wrap all this up. The single most important debugging tool you have isn't printf, and it's not some fancy program, it's your mindset. Hitting an error isn't a sign that you're a bad programmer. It's not a failure. It's just the starting line of a puzzle. It's a chance to understand your own code on a way, way deeper level. And that's really the big idea here. Nobody, and I mean nobody, writes perfect code on the first try. It just doesn't happen. The real difference between a beginner and a pro is how they react when things go wrong. A pro sees that error as a guide. They follow the clues, and they know how to use their tools to figure out the puzzle. They've just learned how to debug smarter. So, the next time you see that flash of red text in your terminal, don't get frustrated. Just take a breath, read what it says, and ask yourself, okay, what is this trying to tell me? So, what's the next error guide you're going to follow on your own coding journey? Thanks for tuning in.